Lambeu Field in Green Bay. Jay Randolph along with Dave Rowe. Good afternoon to you. 20 degrees the temperature. The field in excellent shape. There is Jan Stenerud, the former Kansas City Chief, now kicking for the Green Bay Packers. He's set to put it in play. Hope you'll enjoy it wherever you are. The kick coming down. That is Jeff Groth, who brings it up over the 15, across the 20 to the 22-yard line. And the tackle made by Mark Lee, number 22, and the Oilers are put it in play. We've got another kicker to show you, Chester Marco. You may not have known it, but he was signed by Houston yesterday. Tony Fritsch with a herniated back, and Chester Marco, the fourth leading scorer all time in Green Bay history, is now kicking for the Houston Oilers. Here are the Oilers set to operate from their own 22-yard line, an important game for them. They're 9-5, one game behind Cleveland. A handoff to Earl Campbell, and Campbell is to the 25-yard line. Ezra Johnson, number 90, brings him down. Let's take a look at this offense for the Houston Oilers this afternoon. Stabler with Campbell and Wilson in the backfield. The double tight end alignment with Barber and Casper, and the wide receiver Mike Renfro. And up front, the line is anchored by Carl Mock, playing in his 144th consecutive start. It'll be second down and about 7. The ball is just shy of the 20-yard line. Barreling through, it's Campbell again, up over the 30-yard line. Kurt Allerman, number 60, the left inside linebacker, making the play. Good block by Angelo Fields, number 77. Defensively, Butler Johnston and Ezra Johnson. In the 3-4, Gano, Allerman, Rudzinski today getting a starting shot for Ed O'Neill, Mike Douglas. Hood, McCoy, Luke, and Gray. It's going to be third down and 1 as Earl Campbell starts today with 1,550 yards. He's carried the ball the first 2 times. And Campbell again, and a first down. Out to the 32-yard line. So it's been Campbell, Campbell, and Campbell, Dave Rowe.
He certainly is their bread and butter player. They know where it's, their bread is buttered, and they're going to go to Earl Campbell, one of the great backs, as we had talked about earlier. He is one of the great backs in professional football today.
They're going to be 4th and inches, and Bum Phillips is going to say, let's go for it. Well, you got to admire this kind of situation in the early going. Bub knows he has to win this ball game.
He certainly does. The pressure is on them to win. They have to continue to win if they wanted to go to the playoffs. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Earl Campbell carry it again.
Mike Barber on the wing. Campbell cracks in. He got it. Great effort by the big back. Give you an end zone view of the Tyler tank. Earl Campbell stopped by Johnson.
What a dominant force in the National Football League. You can see Earl Campbell as he gets initially stopped at the line there, but his second effort and his leg drive just gets that first down. That could have been a critical play. But the Packers today are going to play with pride, Jay.
Campbell is just in his 3rd year. He's already the all-time leading Houston Oiler rusher. Green Bay 5-8-1 on the year. Houston 9-5. Stabler, play action, out it comes. And that is Campbell at the 40. Up to the 42-yard line, short of the first down. Or check it, that was Tim Wilson. Wilson taking the pass. That's his 26th catch of the year. Allerman 60 and Rudzinski number 70 making the tackle. Wilson out of Maryland, who complements Campbell in that backfield alignment.
He certainly does. I saw the comparison that Tim Wilson said. He said that they both are about the same size, but Earl Campbell certainly has it more compact.
The field here has heating coils under it, but right down the center of the field, those coils do not operate, and it is a bit hard right in the center of the field and frozen. That's Campbell cracking out to the 45-yard line.
Campbell to about the 45-yard line.
Campbell, 10 touchdowns on the year. There you see the line down the center of this field, and you can see it is frozen, has a little bit of precipitation frozen on top of it.
I believe that's where the coils turn and go back to the sideline, Jay. I was down there before the game, and they had a heater with a tarp over top of that trying to thaw that out, and they hoped that it would stay thawed out because of the action on the field during the game.
There's Bart Starr, 46 years old, the head coach of the Packers. First down from the 45. Stabler back at the 35 is down right there by Jim Gano. Steve Luke, the strong safety, coming with a safety blitz also in there, and a sack for the Pack.
As we watched Stabler set up, he certainly was under a lot of pressure, but the surprising thing was he was able to hold up with a man on his back like that. He came back up and was ready to pass the ball, but of course Steve Luke came and got him. But I'll tell you, that puts a lot of pressure on Kenny Stabler, and that's what the Packers have been criticized of, not getting that great pass rush, and especially last week when they played Chicago.
The Packers rank 10th on defense. They are 10th against the rush, 12th against the pass. It's second down and 20. Stabler giving it off to Campbell, and Campbell out to the 44-yard line. Mike Douglas, the right outside linebacker, number 53, made the tackle. Good block by Tim Wilson.
As Earl Campbell finishes this run on Mike Douglas does make the tackle, but I think it was more Earl Campbell tripping over Mike Douglas because he ran right up the front of him. Douglas wasn't really prepared to take the hit here as we watch Earl Campbell going downfield, and he just runs right over top of him. That is a dominant force. I'm glad I got out of football before he started to play. He is a great runner.
Third down and 11 coming. Houston at their own 44-yard line. The Packers now have Mike Jolly, a rookie, 21, and Mark Lee, 22, and Wiley Turner, 20, in the secondary as they go to prevent defense. And the throw is out and complete to Ronnie Coleman coming out of the backfield. Coleman's 16th catch of the season, very close to a first down near the 45-yard line. Estes Hood, number 38, the left corner, made the tackle. Maybe close enough for a measurement.
I used to always try to guess on these when I played, Jay, to see whether it was a fourth down. I'd always signal to our side, and I don't think I was ever wrong in 13 years because I made it after they brought the chains out.
Well, they're not going to bring them out here. They're going to say it's third and inches, or fourth and inches, excuse me. And the ball is just shy of the 45-yard line. There is Bum Phillips, a native of Orange, Texas. Bum wrapped up in the cold here. Rich Castor, 88, is in as an extra tight end here. The Oiler alignment. He goes on the wing right. That is Campbell. First down and more to the 42-yard line. Campbell cracking over the right side. Rudzinski, 70, and Hood, 38, made the tackle.
When I played with Kenny Stabler in Oakland Raiders, he came out and challenged the defense to stop him, and that's what he's doing today. Everyone knows how great Earl Campbell is. Everything has been said about him that can be said, and he's only in, his third or fourth year of his career. You know that Kenny Stabler is going to come out and use him and force the Packers to stop him, and that's what he's doing. He's challenging the defense right now.
And the Oilers controlling the ball. We have 8 minutes and 30 seconds left to play in the first quarter. First down, penalty marker. Campbell over the 40, down to the 38-yard line. Ezra Johnson, number 90, the right end, making the tackle and the first penalty of the game. Our officials today, the referee is Jerry Markbright.
Illegal motion, number 77, offense, first down.
The rookie, Angelo Fields, from Michigan State. The man who committed the infraction.
If the Houston Oilers are going to do well in the stretch towards the playoffs, Angelo Fields has got to play well. He's filling in for Leon Gray, the great all-pro who sits back in Houston, and he has got to play well, and he certainly did last week.
On first and 15, Stabler throws and incomplete at the 35-yard line. Excellent coverage by the linebacker, Rudzinski.
Rudzinski covering on the play.
Rudzinski wearing number 70 here kind of really surprised me. I never saw a linebacker wearing number 70 back there, but you can see Stabler's got a lot of time, and Rudzinski makes an excellent play coming across and knocking the ball out. The ball was a little bit behind him.
A pass intended for Mike Barber. We have an injured player on the field. No score here in Green Bay. This action now as the Oilers take it down on the field. They have second down and 15 coming up as we go back to the action. 9 men up on the line, and they show the blitz, and the handoff goes to Carpenter. Carpenter going to the 20, at the 10, the 5, and he is out of bounds at the 1. And what a great call by Stabler as Green Bay showed the blitz and I think he probably audibled at the line of scrimmage and handed it off.
He most certainly did, as he had his snap count a little bit long. Kenny Stabler, the old veteran, the snake, saw the blitz early, audibled, and boy, he was off and running. I mean, he took off through the hole and all the way down to the 1-yard line, picked up a couple great blocks. They had 9 men up on the line of scrimmage, and certainly once he broke through the line, he was off and running.
Carpenter came into today's game with 271 yards, as you see, and he just came up about 2 inches short of a touchdown. It would have been his 3rd of the year. Carpenter stays in the game and is back there in a full house along with Campbell and Wilson. Carpenter on the wing, and here comes Earl Campbell, and touchdown Houston. Well, they used up a lot of time. We have 7:44 remaining in the first period, and Houston marches in.
This is the thing that Earl Campbell does so well. He controls the ball. As the Houston Oilers have done here, they've used almost 8 minutes of the clock, and it's just a little easy jog in there.
Well, the fans are buzzing now because they're going to see Chester Markle, the 9-year veteran from Hillsdale, Polish-born kicker, and he is on, signed yesterday, 4th-ranking kicker in Green Bay history, kicking for Houston. And it is up, and it is no good. And the fans here giving Markle quite a razzing. So, the Oilers are on the board with 7:44 remaining first quarter. Markle misses, 6-0.
Because he's come back and he's got a chance to play for another good football team, and that hurts.
Short kickoff taken by Fred Nixon. Now down on the ball as it was fumbled was Harlan Huckleby. Huckleby alertly falling on the ball at the 18-yard line. Carter Hartwig down there for the Oilers. And Green Bay will take it offensively for the first time this afternoon. There's the Houston Oilers scoring drive, and they ate up a lot of clock. 7:16. Green Bay will start with quarterback Lynn Dickey. Ellis and Ivory are there with him. Lofton, he has the best reception yardage average of anybody in the league. Cassidy and Kaufman. First down from the 18-yard line. That's Cassidy going in motion. Play action fake. Swing it out to Ellis. And Ellis run out of bounds at about the 15-yard line. A loss on the play. Greg Bingham and Robert Brazil over there to make the play. There's the offensive line for the Packers. Stokes, Goforth, McCarron, Harris, along with Cook. Ball back at the 15-yard line, a loss of about 3. 7.5 to go in the first quarter. 6-0. The Oilers lead the Packers. Lambeu Field, Green Bay. The temperature 20 degrees. Dickey handing it off to Ivory, and Ivory gets near the 19-yard line. Ted Washington, the left outside linebacker, 59, making the play. The Oilers on defense. Doris, Kennard, and Bethea. Washington, Hunt, Bingham, and Brazil, the linebackers. A good core there. Wilson, Stemrick, Perry, and Reinfeldt in the secondary. Houston ranks 2nd on defense in the AFC, 6th against the rush, 2nd against the pass. 3rd down and 9. 3 wide receivers in for the Packers, Lofton, Cassidy, and Nixon. And the Oilers in a prevent defense. Dickey throwing downfield and incomplete. I think he just threw that away, Dave. Excellent coverage. Excellent coverage there. So it's punting time. And David Beverly, the free agent from Auburn, will come on. He is punting at a 38.6 average on the year.
Jay, you mentioned that the secondary, I mean, the linebackers of Houston are really excellent, but boy, the secondary of Houston is right along with them. They have an excellent secondary, as was proved the other day when they played Pittsburgh for their division lead.
Downfield, Carl Roaches, the little guy, ready to bring it back. Uh-oh, Beverly gonna run. In trouble, that's all he could do. Up the sideline, first down.
Oh, it's gonna be close.
I think he got it. I think he got to the mark. Woo! A good rush was put on, and Beverly thought he couldn't get it away, and then found running room up the left side.
He got a great peel back block on that play, too. It's the only thing that sprung him free.
It's a first down.
Beverly was under a lot of pressure here, and all of a sudden he sees 42 come in there. He starts taking off, but watch this block back here on number 39. Boom, that's what got him free on that. That was a great block by Vicky Ray Anderson.
And the man coming in there trying to block the punt was Boobie Clark, who does such an excellent job on the specialty teams. Well, good work by David Beverly. Art Starr, a great star at Alabama, and a great star here in Green Bay for Mr. Lombardi. First and 10 from the 29-yard line. Eddie Lee Ivory out over the 30 to the 32. 6.5 to go in the first quarter. Oilers leading 6-0. Brazil on the tackle, the right outside linebacker, number 52. This telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Packers and the NFL is prohibited. Cleveland with Brian Sight to Calvin Hill, 18 yards. 7-0 over Minnesota in the first quarter. Second down and 7. The pitch coming back to Ellis. Ellis trying to get outside is in trouble. Excellent pursuit by the defense that time. The Oilers, and leading the way was Washington, 59, along with Elvin Bethea, number 65.
That's the thing that the 34 defense is so known for, the great pursuit. You've got 4 linebackers, 3 defensive linemen, and you can get 4 linebackers to that play in a hurry. And proof of the pudding was that Ted Washington was the opposite side linebacker. He was a left linebacker and made it across to make the tackle.
Third down and 9 for the Packers. They are operating at their own 30-yard line. Lynn Dickey throwing and completing, and another first down at the 40-yard line. Gary Ellis making a nice catch and turning it up for the first down. Greg Bingham, 54, the linebacker, in pursuit.
Gary Ellis swings out of the backfield here. He's one-on-one with a linebacker, and he makes an excellent catch on a down-and-out, real quick play right here. Turns upfield, he makes the first down, and perhaps the Packers are on the road to get something going offensively. Excluding last week, Jay, they have been an excellent football team.
New England, Vegas Ferguson, a 9-yard touchdown run, leading in the first period over Buffalo. Bradshaw to Swan, a 9-yard touchdown pass. Pittsburgh up in over Kansas City in the early going. That's Ivory moving it out to the 43-yard line where Andy Doris, number 69, stalled him. Ivory starts today with 761 yards and a 4.1 average. He was a #1 draft choice from Georgia Tech. Knee injury sidelined him last year. The Packers right now are using a double tight end alignment with Paul Kaufman, 82, and Carl Swanky, 67. And it's second down and 7. That's Ellis. Ellis to the 47-yard line, short of the first down. Elvin Bethea, number 65, on the tackle. Bethea, I suppose, the most mispronounced name in all of the National Football League. They're calling him Bethea here on the PA system.
Elvin doesn't mind as long as they write his name on the paycheck.
That's right, as long as they write the right figures. We've got 3 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the first quarter. The Oilers are leading 6-0 as their new place kicker, Chester Marcole. The former Packer missed the extra point after Campbell had scored from 1 yard out. The Oilers in a prevent defense, third down and 3, and Dickey to throw. Dickey, downfield, he's got a man, there he is, that's James Lofton. A beautiful throw from Dickey, right on target. First down at the 26-yard line. The catch made behind the safety man, Mike Reinfeld.
As Dickey sets up here, the throw is, as you say, Jay, an excellent throw. He lays the ball up over top of Mike Reinfeldt, number 37 here, right into his hands. It was just a perfect throw right there. As we see, it was overthrown.
27-yard play. A lot of pressure was put on by Kennard, and a big hit there. 27-yard play.
Of course, you know, Lynn Dickey's got a little extra added emotion here because he was at one time a Houston Oiler.
Exactly. And he's become a very talented quarterback here in Green Bay under the tutelage of Bart Starr. Play action fake. First down, he goes to the other side. It's complete. Down to the 16-yard line, Eddie Lee Ivory. Just short of a first down, and the Pack's coming right back.
Lynn Dickey had one of the most serious injuries I've ever seen in football, dislocated hip. And he certainly has come back from that. He's a dedicated athlete, and he just really wants to do well. And, of course, being a Houston Oiler, he wants to do well against his former teammates. There's a lot of pride, as we have alluded to many, many times, Jay, in this game.
It is a first down. The ball is spotted at the 16-yard line. Just did get the first down before he stepped out of bounds.
The Oilers, as we all know, are a very, very slow starting team, both offensively and defensively. So I look for them to really turn it on.
Pitch back comes to Ellis, and Ellis goes down. A loss of about 2 on the play. Vernon Perry coming up from strong safety, number 32.
As he takes the pitch here, he has just absolutely nowhere to go. Vernon Perry comes up there, makes an excellent tackle in the backfield. They never cut down the pursuit coming up from the inside. The safety was able to come up on the safety force, and no one was out there to block. There was just nowhere for him to go.
Cassidy, number 88, is back in at wide receiver for Green Bay. It's going to be 2nd down and 12. We have 2:45 to play in the first quarter. The Oilers are leading 6-0. The Packers operating at the 18-yard line of Houston. Dickey to throw. Going to the far sideline. Intercepted on the far sideline. Coming away with it, Vernon Perry. Perry's 4th interception of the season. Boy, he made a nice play as he came in front of the tight end, Paul Kaufman, and took it off.
Vernon Perry has played so well for the Houston Oilers. Everyone knows about what he did last year. I think Lynn Dickey just went to the out pattern a little bit too often, and Vernon Perry just stepped in front, and of course it's a big turnover for the Houston Oilers.
And the Oilers will have the football when we come back. Year. Oilers leading at 6-0. First down at their own 13-yard line. Stabler 2 out of 3 for 18 yards, throwing on first down out to Wilson. Wilson cuts it up to the 20. Hit there by Steve Luke, number 46, the strong safety. We have 2 minutes and 17 seconds remaining to be played in this first quarter. The Oilers 9-5, 1 game behind the Cleveland Browns. We'll be keeping you up to date on that Cleveland-Minnesota score. On 2nd down and 3 from the 20. And the call going to Earl Campbell. And Campbell is very close. I think he's got the first down. We'll wait to see where they put it down, but it was Johnny Gray, the free safety, number 24, who made the tackle. And it is a first down with 1.5 minutes to play in this first half. Next Saturday, start your day with NFL 80 and Bryant Gumbel. He'll bring you all the activities and the inside news of the final weekend of the regular season. There's a special feature on the sounds of football, and then the unique treatment of that game between New York and Miami. That's right. There's not going to be any announcers. And then college basketball as the Indiana Hoosiers meet the North Carolina Tar Heels. That's all next Saturday. Stabler loses the football. It was Mike Douglas coming in to undercut him, and they unpile, and did he get it back? He did. Oh, boy. An anxious moment for the Oilers.
This is what the Packers have been criticized for, their lack of pass rush, and they certainly come on them here. As we see the rush there, just knocking the ball out of Stabler's hand. Number 53, Mike Douglas. Fortunately, as we watch Stabler again, he knocks the ball out of his hand with his right hand as he comes around, and of course Stabler is alert enough to fall right back down on it. But
I think it was Earl Campbell.
Oh, was it Earl Campbell?
That other view shows us that Campbell did get on the football. The loss is back to the 14-yard line, and it's 2nd down and 20. to the 16-yard line. Johnson, number 99, on the tackle. Johnson, the nose guard out of Maryland, strong, very quick performer.
In a third down and long situation, I don't know of a better quarterback than Kenny Stabler. I rode his arm to the Super Bowl, and I've got great admiration for him. He's one of the finest all-time quarterbacks, percentage-wise, yardage-wise, in every way.
The snake. And they're going to let the clock run down to the end of the first quarter. And after one period of play here at Lambeu Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin, the Oilers have the lead 6-0 over the Packers. We're going to have third and about 18 coming up. The Oilers have only Rob Carpenter in there in the backfield now as Billy Johnson has come on, number 84, and along with Casper and Renfro, 82, and Barber, 86. They're all in there. Third down and 19. The Packers go into their prevent defense with Jolly and Lee into the secondary. Stabler with a deep drop. He swings it out to Carpenter. Got a block at the 20, the 25, up to the 30. Short of the first down by about 3 yards. The Packers looking for Stabler to go long, and he swung it out and almost made it work for the first down. McCoy, let's see, it was Wiley Turner, number 20, on the tackle as we take a look at the play again.
What a block by my old teammate here, Carl Mock, number 55. One of the few players in football that still wear black shoes. He said that's the way he gets notoriety as a center.
Punting situation. Cliff Parsley, at the moment, carrying the best average in his career, 40.7. Downfield it comes. Fred Nixon takes it. He's at the 35. Little running room to the 40 and up to the 44-yard line. Early in the second period, it's 6-0. The Oilers lead the Packers. 15-yard return by Nixon. Thompson on the tackle. Green Bay football, their own 44. Dickey 4 out of 5, 44 yards in the passing department. And the handoff going to Ellis. Ellis got about a yard and a half before Robert Brazil, number 52, and Greg Stemrick, number 27, brought him down. The Packers on offense this season rank 7th in the NFC. They are 10th in rushing, 5th in passing. They fumbled the ball 30 times, lost it 9. The Oilers have fumbled 30, but lost 18.
Besides the last 2 games, Jay, the Packers have averaged almost 400 yards a game offense, which is really a credit to their offense.
Yeah, up until that real beating they took last week, they played rather well. Here's a throw complete for a first down, and away goes Hoffman for more. He gets to the 37-yard line. Darrell Hunt, number 50, the linebacker, finally brought him down, but Dickey throwing the football very well in the early going here today.
Dickey rolls weak side here as he sets up, and he throws a stinger in here. When he was with Houston, he had a great record of throwing an awful hard ball. And he really stung it in there. Paul Kaufman came down with a catch and almost broke it away for a long, long gainer.
It was a 17-yard pickup and a first down. That's Cassidy wide to the right at the top of the screen. First down at the 38. Ellis, they're not getting much with that play, I'll tell you.
The minute Ellis doesn't hit the point of attack, the hole where it's designed to go, and has to break it outside, the Houston Oilers have such great pursuit to the ball that he never gets a chance to turn around the corner.
Brazil and Bingham on the tackle.
Gary Ellis, as he takes the ball here, it's an off-tackle play around a 6 or 7 hole play, and all of a sudden he just decides to cut it out, and you can see the pursuit there. There's 52, Robert Brazil, and Greg Stemrick is up there, and they've got several of them.
The second down and about 12. We have 12 minutes left to play in the first half. If you're just joining us, Campbell scored from 1 yard out. Marco, who's now kicking for Houston, taking over for Tony Fritsch, who has the herniated disc, missed the extra point. This time they call on Eddie Lee Ivory. And Ivory doesn't get much, and the fans don't like the play selection.
As is evidenced by Gary Ellis having only 5 rushes for 1 yard, they are stopping the ball at the point of attack, and the Packers are not controlling the line of scrimmage. The Houston Oilers are controlling it, therefore they're stopping the rushing game.
Right now, a player shaken up on the field. We have 11.5 to play in the first half. And we take a timeout with the Oilers leading it 6-0 here at Lambeu Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. The right guard, number 69, was the player shaken up for the Packers. He's been replaced by Sid Kitson, the rookie, number 64. 3rd down and 12. Fred Nixon, James Lofton, and Ron Cassidy, 3 wide receivers now. Penalty marker goes down. And a free throw right here, and incomplete at the 20-yard line. Pass intended for Lofton. Pretty good coverage by Vernon Perry.
Well, that's the age-old problem with a defensive lineman when you go on sound and don't go on the ball. Every football coach that teaches defensive line teaches you to go on the ball, don't go on sound or voice inflection.
And it is offsides against Houston. And it'll be marked off by referee Jerry Markbright. And we'll get the word as to who it was.
Offside, number 75, defense, 3rd down.
Jesse Baker. Let's bring you up to date on a couple of scores very quickly. New England still leading in the second quarter, 7-0 over Buffalo. Vegas Ferguson scoring in that one. 7-0 Cleveland over Minnesota second quarter. And in the New Orleans Jets, or the Pittsburgh, 7-0 over Kansas City. No score for St. Louis and Philadelphia in the second quarter. 3rd and 7 coming up. Dickey has time and throws low. His intended receiver was Ellis, who was double-teamed out here. Vernon Perry, the primary coverage. Atlanta leading San Francisco 7-0. They're in the second quarter of play. In the must game, it had to be played. New Orleans and the Jets 7-7. They're in the second quarter. Here it is 6-0 the Oilers. And David Beverly is going to do the punting.
Think he'll run again with
well,
it,
I don't
Jay?
know. He might.
It's only at the 30-yard line. He's just going to punch it.
He's trying to punch it to the near sideline. And it is down beautifully at the 3-yard line. Downfield for the Packers to make that play. And what a job he did. Wiley Turner, number 20. A 31-yard punt. And Turner caught the punt right at the 3-yard line. Casper, Barber, and Castor are all in the lineup. And banging out over the 5 to the 7-yard line, Earl Campbell. Charles Johnson, number 99, the nose man on the tackle.
As the Green Bay Packers huddle up here, their sole thought is to keep the Houston Oilers down inside this 10-yard line, 15-yard line, so they can get field position to get back down. They have driven the ball today. Emotions play a big part, as we well know, and the Houston Oilers have come off what an emotional victory last week. And hopefully they'll be able to, you know, their fans are hoping that they can come off that and not play against a team that doesn't have a very good record, not played poorly.
Rob Carpenter, 26, and Earl Campbell, 34, in the game now. That's Castor going out left, and the throw is complete to him for a first down. Out at the 16-yard line, Rich Castor, his 23rd catch of the season. Mike McCoy on the coverage, number 29. You know, Dave, you talk about that emotional win, that 6-0 victory. Tony Fritsch with the 2 field goals. Fritsch not here, the herniated disc. That was a big win. Of course, they've had a few extra days. Sometimes that can be good, sometimes it's not, depending on the mood of your team.
It certainly can. I think that's why that they came out and went for that right away. That first down on the 4th down, because Bum Phillips wants to get them back in the tone of the game. It's so important to play week to week.
Now it is Wilson and Campbell in the backfield, and Campbell getting the call, and about 3. Near the 20-yard line, Charles Johnson wrapped him up again, number 99. Some of the Oilers over around a space heater that they've got over there.
Where emotions really play an important part, Jay, is during the week of preparation. Not so much during the game, because once the gun goes off, those players are playing for keeps. They're professionals. But in their week of preparation, sometimes that's where your emotional feelings really play an important part.
And you mentioned Bum Phillips has had some problems of getting his club going in that first period, in the first half early. A lot of time. Stabler, incomplete. The pass to Billy Whiteshoes. Johnson and Johnny Gray, the safety man, came in there and just cracked the ball out of there.
He came in and stuck him. Woo! Johnny Gray, number 24, really played this ball well. As Stabler drops back to pass, he certainly has time. He's moving around in the pocket. He's got nothing in front of him at all. We can see Tim Wilson there waving. And look at Johnny Gray come up here and pop that ball out. He stuck him.
Stabler now is 5 out of 7, 49 yards. Dickey also 5 out of 7. He's thrown for 61 yards. Now Carpenter and Coleman are in the backfield. It's 3rd down and 8. Stabler swinging it out. Carpenter, and a fine open field tackle. An excellent play by Paul Rudzinski. Rudzinski, who is playing at a linebacker spot for the injured Ed O'Neill, made a dandy play.
I said earlier that I hadn't seen a linebacker with number 70, but I remember back now that Sam Huff, the great linebacker, was number 70 also. Rudzinski breaks down and really has total control of his movement there and forces Carpenter to make his move and just reacts to it. It was an excellent play.
Sam Huff, West Virginia University.
How could I forget him? Probably the reason I forgot him, Jay, was that they've changed the number system now since Sam and I played.
That's right. Parsley punting. Fred Nixon at midfield. Nixon, penalty marker goes down, and Nixon goes down at the 45-yard line, giving forward progress to about the 44.
Illegal use of the hands. Number 78.
With the parents.
Declined. Personal foul. Clipping. Number 38 on the run back. Accepted. Timeout.
They took the clipping call against Estes Hood. And with 8.5 minutes to go, a timeout here at Lambeu Field with Houston leading the Green Bay Packers 6-0. Bum Phillips, there's the rushing yardage up to now. Oilers very dominant in that department. 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line for the Packers. The throw to the far sideline. All alone was James Lofton. Somebody went to sleep on the corner. Was it Lofton? No, it was Cassidy, excuse me, and not Lofton. J.C. Wilson, the cornerback over there, beaten on the play.
Dickey, as he dropped back, really made a tremendous fake to his left, and it drew the defense that direction. And all of a sudden, he saw that he was covered and had to come back to his right side. You can see that he pulls the ball back down here, and all of a sudden has to throw out, and James Lofton, of course, a great gifted receiver that he is.
That was Cassidy. I said Lofton, too.
That was Ron Cassidy, right.
Cassidy making the catch for the first down at the 46-yard line. Another play action fake. Look out. And they're going to mark it back at the 32-yard line. The in-the-grasp call will come into play, and rightfully so. Ted Washington making the play for Houston.
Well, what a thrill for number 71, Kenny Kennard, to intercept the pass.
It will not count.
You know, I had 11-yard average catching passes during my career. Lynn Dickey is in the arms here, and he certainly is. They stopped the play right here to keep the quarterback from being injured. But he does throw the ball off, and Kenny Kennard intercepts it. And what a thrill for a defensive lineman.
The officials doing an excellent job on that call. 3 wide receivers in now for the Packers. Lofton, 80, Cassidy, 88, and Nixon, 84. Lofton starting the day with a 17.1 average per catch.
He's already gone over 5 times this year, Jay. Over 100 yards in receptions. Quite a tribute.
Lynn Dickey steps up and throws, and it is no good. Fred Nixon made the catch, but didn't get both feet down, and really, that was a matter of concentration right there. The coverage by Stemrick and Perry. Thursday at 8 Eastern Time, games people play. The finals of the 3-ton tug-of-war. You'll see the New Orleans firemen battle the steelworkers, and believe me, that's a battle. Then a fun look at the world's shortest pro basketball team, led by Billy Barty, and an inspiring visit with marathoner Peter Stredwick. That and much, much more Thursday evening on Games People Play, right here on NBC. 3rd and 20 for the Pack. Out it comes to Ivory. Ivory up over the 40, dumped hard. And Brazil and Perry made the play as he got to the 44-yard line, short of a first down.
That play really looked like it was going to go a long way as Lynn Dickey had a lot of pressure in the middle. He lost the ball out here. Eddie Lee Ivory's got a lot of men out in front, but Vernon Perry really came filling right through and made a great play on the play right there. Made a tackle and saved them perhaps a first down.
David Beverly on to punt. Roaches is set downfield. A high spiral, looking up into the sun. Roaches at the 20, and he gets out to the 24-yard line. Good job by Roaches looking into that sun.
And no fair catch with a man running right down his throat. You have to have a lot of admiration for someone like that.
Tackle was made by Nixon. 6:46 left to play. We're in the first half. Houston leads Green Bay. 7-yard punt a moment ago. David Carter, number 58, is now at left guard, replacing Bob Young for the Oilers. Stabler 6 out of 8, 46 yards. Gonna throw here on first down. And it is complete. The catch made by Dave Casper. Quite a combination. Stabler and Casper. First down at the 48-yard line. Mike Douglas, the linebacker, number 53 on the tackle.
Don't you know, all of Houston is excited to see that combination back together. They were so successful with the Oakland Raiders, and Stabler knows right where to go when he's going to Casper.
Casper caught 5 big passes for 68 yards in the victory over Pittsburgh. 6:10 left to go in the first half of play. 6-0 Oilers. That's Campbell getting outside and down to the 45-yard line. Stop made by Casey Merrill, number 78, who's now up front for the Packers at end.
I was watching that time David Carter, number 58, who came in and replaced Bob Young. What a force Bob Young has been. 15 years in this league. I remember lining up across from him and looking at him. What a physical specimen.
And quite a guy. Quite a guy.
Yes, he is. He's a real tribute to football.
Stabler 7 out of 9 for 71 yards. 2nd down and 4 at the 44. Campbell charging for the first down at the 40-yard line. Tackle made for the Packers by Kurt Ollerman. Ollerman, the former St. Louis Cardinal, a free agent who's played very well, number 60. An awful lot of injuries, the Green Bay Packers. And another injury right here. It looks like the cornerback, Estes Hood, number 38, is down, holding his knee. Campbell might be better before it's all over.
Well, I certainly think he's in the class.
Oh, no question.
Boy.
Out it comes to Wilson. And Wilson is down over the 35. Fumble! Green Bay recovered. Wilson took a shot as he got across the 35-yard line. And in under the pack. Let's see who comes out of there.
They're still fighting for the ball.
I think it was Johnny Gray in under there.
Tim Wilson takes a little swing pass here, starts to cut back upfield. You can see the pile. He's got it hanging out there, and of course gets knocked out of his hand, and it's a mad scramble for the ball, and it does look like it was Johnny Gray who came up with the ball. He's already had 4 or 5 interceptions this year and leads the team in fumble recoveries also.
The turnovers, 1 apiece. 1st and 10 for Green Bay from their own 34-yard line. 4:45 to go in the first half. And the handoff to Eddie Lee Ivory. Ivory across the 35 to about the 37-yard line. Let's pause now briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
KPRC-TV, Channel 2, Houston.
With Dave Rowe, Jay Randolph at Lambeu Field, Green Bay, Wisconsin. The Oilers 6, the Packers nothing. Clock running with 4:10 to play in the first half. Last tackle to Ken Kennard, the middle guard of the Oilers. 2nd and 7. Coming to the near sideline, Ivory cuts it up and very close to the first down. John Corker, the linebacker, 57, who is in the game now, making the play. Goforth that time did a nice job of blocking on the play.
That's the first time, Jay, that they've been able to turn the corner and pick up 4 or 5 yards, as the Houston Oilers certainly have shut off the running game.
Here's the measurement, and it's a first down for Green Bay. 3 minutes and 52 seconds of playing time left in the first half. Coming up next, we have the Oakland-Denver action or Miami-Baltimore action for you. Depending on what area of the country you'll be seeing the second half of the doubleheader this afternoon. Check your local listings. Stay with us for more football action. Jesse Baker, 75, has replaced Elvin Bethea at right end. First and 10 from the 44-yard line. Dickey under pressure, throws, and it is incomplete. He had to get rid of that one quickly. A lot of pressure that time by Ted Washington, the linebacker. Coverage, J.C. Wilson and Reinfeldt. The intended receiver probably was James Lofton.
Had J.C. Wilson not slipped down, he would have intercepted that ball that time.
There's a stat on Lynn Dickey. He has been, as we mentioned, bothered by injury, but he's had a fine year here. Second and 10. He's thrown for more yards than Stabler this season.
Yes, he has. He's right at 60% completions also, Jay, which is really something.
The Oilers in a nickel. And Dickey down the middle, and it is complete. That is Cassidy inside the 20 and all the way to the 13-yard line. Mike Reinfeldt, the safety man, makes the tackle, but a fine, fine play between Dickey and Cassidy for a first down.
Across the field on a crossing pattern, there evidently was a breakup in their zone coverage because there was no one near him. You can see Ron Cassidy out there, number 88, as he's heading towards the sideline, and Mike Reinfeldt, of course, brings him down. Reinfeldt was complaining there that Cassidy had pushed him in the face mask.
Ooh, and 67 has come in as the extra tight end and will work with Paul Kaufman for the Packers. They have Ellis, 31, and Ivory, 40 in the backfield with Lynn Dickey quarterbacking the club. Kaufman going to the right side. Lofton is set left. First down at the 13-yard line. Dickey to throw, and it is incomplete. It hit the official. He was trying to hit the back out of the backfield, and it just never developed. Brazil 52 right there, and a couple of his mates really messed it up. They weren't fooled.
That was a tight end delay play to number 82, Paul Kaufman. He delays on the line and looks as if he's blocking and then takes off across the field away from the coverage. It's called tight end delay. It's one of a very, very effective plays because you actually lose concentration on him. The linebacker that's covering him loses concentration when he sees him just blocked there. Then all of a sudden he sneaks across the field, and it's been a very, very effective play for a lot of teams.
There's Jan Stenerud now doing the kicking for Green Bay. Pitch back comes around to Kaufman, and Kaufman is at the 10. Run out of bounds over there by Greg Bingham. J.C. Wilson, Darrell Hunt also over there. The clock stopped with 2:36 remaining in this first half.
An interesting thing on that play is that J.C. Wilson is certainly a finely coached player because on that play it's so easy on an end around to try to pursue and get back to the play. And J.C. Wilson came up, did his assignment, and of course made the play and brought up the third down situation. But many, many times that's where a defensive back is fooled.
It is 3rd and 7 at the 10. Fred Nixon comes in, another wide receiver. Swanky coming out, the fellow who was the second tight end. That's Ivory going to the wing left. Dickey has time. He throws, and it is just off the outstretched fingertips of Eddie Lee Ivory. A tough catch for him. Greg Stemrick on the coverage. And we're going to get Jan Stenerud to come on. Jan, who, of course, was brilliant over the years for the Kansas City Chiefs in the heyday of the Chiefs and Coach Hank Stram. Stenerud is 3 out of 3 on the extra points and 1 out of 3 on the field goals. He follows Tom Burney and Chester Marcole here this season.
14 years of competition. He certainly has been over the years very, very dominant force as a kicker.
And a wonderful gentleman.
Yes,
Played
he
at
is.
Montana State. Hank Stram used to call him Yansky. Come here, Yansky.
An interesting thing, that Chester Marcole extra point in this really looms as a big point right now.
Stenerud puts it up, and it is good. A 28-yard field goal for Jan Stenerud. And the Packers are on the board with 2 minutes, 27 seconds to play in this first half. They've got Groth and Roaches. That's Roaches 85 and Groth 81. Cleveland now leading Minnesota 13-0. And if that holds up, of course, extremely important for the Oilers to win here this afternoon. The kick to Groth. He's at the 15, the 20, bumped at the 25, and gets to about the 27-yard line. Brian Cabro on the tackle. Number 65, I think he pronounces it Cabral. Right. At the 27, Houston. 2:17 with which to operate. And here is where Mr. Stabler is at his best.
Yes, he is. The Alabama Rattler, we used to call him in Oakland. He certainly is. This is his part of the game right here.
Carpenter is in there, and the pressure, and down he goes. Mike Butler, the 4-year man from Kansas, number 77. Fellow who has a lot of strength and speed, a #1 draft choice, making the play.
Mike Butler just drove Morris Towns back on that play. Morris Towns never got set up, and Mike Butler got to him before he set up and just drove him back into the play.
Coming down to the 2-minute mark, and we're going to get the 2-minute warning right here. That gives us time out to sell a few items for you at Lambeu Field, the home of the Packers. Incidentally, they have won all 3 of their home games here this year. 2nd down and 20 after the sack. Carpenter coming out to the 20, cuts outside 25, 30, 35, first down all the way to the 37. They were looking for the pass, an excellent call. Mike Douglas, the linebacker, on the tackle. That's the 2nd time this afternoon that Stabler, when it was long yardage, obvious pass, gave it to Carpenter, and he did the job.
There are a lot of great quarterbacks in the NFL, but I don't know of one that has more total control of the game than Kenny Stabler.
Carpenter now has 69 yards on 3 carries. That's, I think, if I am correct, 23-yard average. Stabler batted away. Mike Butler, number 77, batting it away as he was trying to swing it out to Carpenter. There is Butler, 4-year man from Kansas, lives in Madison, Wisconsin. A really complete player and one of the leaders of the pack. And the Packers today doing an excellent job of putting pressure on Stabler.
Yes, they certainly have. When they're not getting to him, they're still getting into a space and putting those hands up. And as a quarterback sets back there, if you don't have that pressure in front of him, those people right up in front of him, it's very, very easy for the quarterbacks, quality of quarterbacks today, to hit these players.
Penalty marker down. Stabler throws complete. And the catch made by Billy Johnson.
Nose man Charles Johnson. Yep. Charles Johnson here, number 99, jumps. But if you've ever heard Kenny Stabler call those...
Number 99, defense, 2nd down.
If you've ever heard Kenny Stabler call the calls, he's from Alabama, down near Gulf Shores there, and he calls them way down with that southern drawl, and I'm sure that Charles Johnson, being from up in this area here, hasn't been used to that type of language.
Hasn't heard that old drawl enough, huh?
I used to love listening to Stabler.
2nd and 5 at the 44. Stabler going long downfield, and it is incomplete. The pass was intended for Billy Johnson. Right with him, McCoy, and Steve Luke was also back there, and they were in a race. 1:36 to go with a clock stop.
84 at Billy Johnson's. Everyone knows is known as White Shoes, of course, but he has really come back from several injuries that could have ended the career of any wide receiver. He certainly
he's in his 2nd comeback, you might say.
Yes, he is. Of course, he's getting run step for step there with Mike McCoy.
Ball was a little underthrown. 1:36 to go in the first half. The Oilers are leading at 6-3. Stabler Throwing complete at midfield. That's Dave Casper. Casper not the primary receiver there. Good coverage by the Packers. Tackled by Mike Douglas, 53, and Paul Rudzinski, number 70. It'll be a first down at midfield. Clock rolling with 1:10 to play in the first half. Stabler to the far sideline, complete down at the 38-yard line. The catch made by Johnson, and he was immediately hit by McCoy over there. And now 1:01 left on the clock here.
Every professional team practices this position. 2-minute offense.
And we'll be back to see how they do in the final minute of this first half. The Oilers 6, the Packers 3. Furnished as a public service for the National Football League. Stabler gets it away, and it is complete. Down to the 16-yard line, and there it is again, Dave Casper.
As we watch Stabler here, you can see what's Kenny Stabler, how he reacts to pressure right here. We see a hand come in and really get a grab on him right here, but he just stays. He just gathers himself back in there and throws a strike to Dave Casper, number 87 here, for a long gainer down to about the 15, 16-yard line.
Good pressure put on by Mike Butler. Casper is from just down the road here at Chilton, Wisconsin.
Yes, he is. He's one of the very avid outdoors ice fishermen.
There is Chester Markole, who missed an extra point in his first attempt for Houston. The fourth all-time leading scorer in Packer history, behind names like Don Hudson, Jim Taylor, Paul Horning. Dave, you were telling me that Casper comes back here to do a little ice fishing in the wintertime, huh?
Yes, he does. He's a very, very avid outdoorsman, and he always used to come back to Oakland and tell us how many big ones he caught, the old fish and tail story, but he does come back here quite a lot.
Two wide receivers set to the left side. First and 10 at the 16. The Oilers are out of timeouts now. Casper going in motion, and the handoff to Rob Carpenter, the single setback. Clock running with 40 seconds left. Kurt Allerman, number 60, and Charles Johnson, 99, making the tackle. Casper to the far side, throwing it away, stopping the clock with 29 seconds remaining. The fans think that, of course, maybe he should be called for illegal grounding, but he made a throw over there, and Johnson was in the area. That's what you do. You stop the clock.
You think we'll see Chester Markole?
We see that play so often, and so many people feel that the official should call grounding on that play, but that's allowed.
John Madden used to always say that you used to have to drop back, and he used to just want to throw it in the ground because it would actually save 1 or 2 seconds, because the ball travels 25, 30 yards to get out of bounds.
All right, now 3rd and 7. Here's the big play, and the throw, and the catch. And at the 10-yard line, they didn't get out of bounds. Johnny Ray making the stop on Mike Barber. And now the field goal kicking unit coming on. Clock running, 16 seconds. Trying to get set up. Down to 10 seconds. Markole will attempt from the 17. 5 seconds, 4 seconds. The kick is up. It is good. With 1 second left on the clock, Chester Markole scores his first points for the Houston Oilers.
And what a pressure situation that was. The clock was running down. They didn't have any time to stop the clock. He had to run right on the field. No preparation, no walk through the practice to kick. So it certainly put a lot of pressure on him.
The snap came with about 4 seconds. He got it away with 1 second remaining. Looked like a Chinese fire drill out there, didn't it?
Right through the center, Jay.
And we come to halftime here at Lambeu Field, Green Bay, Wisconsin, as Chester Markole has booted it through. The end of the first half here in Green Bay. The score, the Oilers 9, the Packers 3.
Have not come out and established a rushing game. They've only broken one run for probably over 3 yards, 4 yards. But they do have a little bit in the passing edge. But there's been a lot of domination by the Houston Oilers, and twice they had turnovers down in, or once they had a turnover, a serious one, down in the deep in territory.
A combination of a Cleveland victory and a Houston defeat would clinch the division title for the Browns today. The Browns would win on the basis of the better overall record. Now, if Cleveland defeats Cincinnati on the final weekend, it would win the division title regardless of how it fares against Minnesota. Cleveland would capture the title on the basis of better conference record than Houston, 8-4 to 7-5. There is that Cleveland score at halftime. Cleveland can clinch at least a wild card if the Browns defeat Minnesota today. Only 4 teams could possibly finish with a record as good or better than Cleveland. And, of course, Pittsburgh cannot repeat as the division champion. They do have a slim chance as a wild card. Houston has a very excellent chance as a wild card. And we're getting set to go to Chester Marcol. And there are the standings right now in the Central Division of the American Football Conference. Marcol will kick to Fred Nixon to get the third quarter underway. 9-3, Houston. Nixon backing up, takes it at the 7. Out to the 15, the 20, cuts out at the 25, and gets across the 30 to the 32-yard line. A nice return by Nixon. Thomas Henderson on the tackle, number 53 for the Houston Oilers. So the Packers will start with Lynn Dickey at quarterback. Had a very credible first half. 25-yard return that time by Nixon. Ellis and Ivory are in the backfield. Lofton and Cassidy, the wide receivers, with Kaufman, the tight end. McCarron, Goforth, Harris, Cook, and Stokes up front. First down from the 32-yard line. Cassidy coming in motion. And the pitch back to Eddie Lee Ivory. Over the 35, over the 40. Close to a first down at the 41-yard line. Robert Brazil making the tackle. Brazil, number 52. Nice move for 9 over the right side.
Evidently, Bart Starr feels the same way that we do, Jay. He's got to come out and establish the running game if he wants the passing game to work. They came out, and that's the longest run from scrimmage that they've had today.
2nd and 1, ball on the 41.
2nd down and 1. Getting the call is Ellis, and I don't know if he got it or not. He had a little problem. Had to cut it outside. Ken Kennard, the middle guard, number 71, on the tackle, along with 33, J.C. Wilson. And we may have a measurement here. The Oilers, with Doris, Bethea. The backers are Washington, Brazil, Bingham, and Hunt. Wilson, Perry, Reinfeldt, and Stemrick in the secondary. Kennard playing the middle guard spot. Here's the measurement. First down for the Green Bay Packers. Opening moments of the third quarter. Oilers 9, Packers 3. This is the third meeting ever between these teams. The Packers won 23-10 in the Astrodome back in '72. The Oilers won here in Green Bay 16-10 in '77. That was Kaufman going in motion, Dickey throwing and completing it to Kaufman at midfield. And he was brought down hard by Vernon Perry.
What a hit by Vernon Perry, number 32. He certainly is a tenacious person back there.
A free agent and one of just a long line of tremendous players out of Jackson State. He was originally a Bear and went to Montreal, played in the CFL.
To show how good a player he is, he's got 94 tackles already, and that's quite a tribute. The Packers have 2 fellows that have had over 100 tackles only twice in the history of the Packers organization.
2nd down and 2. 13 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Pitch back coming to Ivory. And he doesn't quite get back to the line of scrimmage. J.C. Wilson coming up to make the play, along with number 69, Andy Doris, and 59, Ted Washington. The Houston Oilers were 11-5 last season, and they can match that with a victory here today and a victory next week when they play Minnesota in the Astrodome at 12 noon. The Packers were 5-11 last year and come in 5-8-1. Baker now 75 is at right end for the Oilers, replacing Elvin Bethea, and it is 3rd down and 2 at midfield. The handoff going to Ellis. He didn't get there. Well, now, wait a minute. A little bit of a second effort. But I think they will spot it at about the 48.5-yard line. The fans here yelling, go, go, go. The tackle by Greg Bingham. And it is going to be just about a half a yard short.
It's way too early to go for a fourth down play on the 49-yard.
Robert Brazil right here.
Well, Robert Brazil, number 52, certainly is everyone's all-pro. You can see the effort he puts in there, holding on to the leg of number 31, Gary Ellis, and not allowing him and letting the secondary come up and get the hit. But what an effort by him.
David Beverly, former Oiler, former Skin, former Buffalo Bill, ready to do the punting. Roaches is downfield, and the kick, a low liner, coming down, got a bad bounce, and goes out of bounds at the 21-yard line. So a very, very short kick indeed. And Houston will have it in good shape, leading it 9-3 after that 29-yard punt. Ezra Johnson is out of the lineup, injured with an ankle. Number 90, Ed O'Neill, did not start today because of injuries. Estes Hood is not in there now either at corner. Mark Lee has taken his place as the handoff goes to Earl Campbell. Campbell gets it over the 30-yard line to about the 32. And Mike Butler, 77. Mike Douglas, 53 on the tackle.
Of course, there's a great running back, Earl Campbell. The thing that's so interesting about him as we watch him run through the line there is his body lean. He's such a compact individual at 224 pounds, only 5'11", and you never really get a good shot at him because he has a great body lean as he goes through the hole.
Second down and 3 at the 32-yard line. 10:40 to play, third quarter. Oilers leading 9-3. Campbell again near the 35-yard line. Rudzinski, 70, makes the tackle.
Campbell, as he gets the ball, has great recuperative powers here, Jay, as he gets hit right in the hole there and still has the ability to regroup himself and get off the block. I just keep on giving the ball to Earl Campbell. I'll tell you, he's a tremendous force.
He tied a record last year in the National Football League, 19 touchdowns in '79. That record previously held by Green Bay's Jim Taylor. Triple tight end alignment, 3rd and 1. Campbell, first down. Campbell got it near the 40-yard line. Another view of the man from Tyler, Texas.
He certainly is a tank, they call it. You know, the thing that really impresses me about him, Jay, is that he's got great vision going through the hole. And I think that's the thing, that the quality that really separates the great running backs. You can find players that are 5'11", 224 pounds, but very few have that vision going through the hole.
Tommy Kramer to Joe Sensor, 31 yards. The extra point was missed. Oh, it's been a day of a lot of missed extra points. 2 in that game between Cleveland and Minnesota, 1 here. Penalty marker down. The throw is complete down to the 37-yard line. Dave Casper again, the 7-year veteran from Notre Dame. Mike McCoy on the tackle, but a penalty marker down, and it's going to be brought back.
Illegal motion, number 76, offense. First down.
The call against the right tackle, Morris Towns, the former Missouri star, and it puts the ball back at the 34-yard line. 1st and 15. 9 minutes and 15 seconds to play in the third quarter. There are the penalty yards. The pitch to Campbell, and a fine tackle by Steve Luke. The strong safety coming across, got him right along the shoe tops and brought him down, and if he hadn't, Campbell might have rumped.
What a force on that play by Steve Luke. When I say force, that's what determines who's going to come up and force the play to turn in. You either have backer force by the linebacker, or you have a corner safety force. That time, Steve Luke came up and turned Earl Campbell back into the pursuit. Of course, they stopped him for a very short game.
Now we've got Jeff Groth in the lineup. Wilson is out of there. Just Campbell behind his quarterback, Ken Stabler. Johnson, Casper also in there, and there is Earl Campbell, and they stopped him at the 37-yard line.
An interesting statistic about Earl Campbell. You know what his passing average is, Jay? 27 yards of throw. He's thrown twice, completed one for 57 yards. I thought that was a pretty good average.
Well, it's an excellent average, no question about that. That last tackle made by Rudzinski and the gain to the 37-yard line. And now the Packers going into a prevent defense, and the rookie defensive back Mike Jolly in, along with the second-year man Wiley Turner. And we've got Rob Carpenter in there now, as you saw Campbell go out. 3rd and 12 at the 37. Stabler has time, out to Carpenter. He's in trouble, breaks away, and is all the way to the 40-yard line. Short of a first down, but what a job by Rob Carpenter. Here's a punting situation now. Parsley getting it away, and it's picked up by Nixon, and he is spun out of bounds up the sideline. Whoa! That banged pretty good at the 27-yard line. Jeff Groth was there to make the play. 6:57 remaining to be played. We're in the third quarter. 37-yard punt. Oilers 9, Packers 3. 6:57 to go in the third quarter. Packers down 9-3. 1st and 10 for them at the 27-yard line. That's Nixon coming in motion. Play action fake. Dickey throwing back, and a good catch here on the near sideline. Nixon at the 40, the 45, and all the way out to the 49-yard line. And that brings them to their feet here in Green Bay. Brazil on the tackle.
Lynn Dickey throws a simple out pattern to Fred Nixon, number 84 here, a rookie out of Oklahoma, and he certainly comes up with a big play after he catches the ball. It's about a 10 or 12-yard out right here. Stemrick was going for the interception, and Nixon, look, watch this move. He comes back here inside, eludes, picks up a couple blockers, and he gets it all the way out to the midfield.
Picked up 22 yards on the play. The fans here whooping it up. A sellout crowd at Lambeu Stadium. That's Ivory going in motion. The throw out to Ivory. Set up the outside screen. He's down to the 45, down to the 41-yard line. Mike Reinfeldt, the safety man. Darrell Hunt, the linebacker. They made the play.
We had a safety blitz from the outside here. Lynn Dickey's under an awful lot of pressure and drops the ball off. Picks up the blockers here, and he's off and running a little bit. Eddie Lee Ivory, number 40, knows what to do when he gets it up there, and the crowd is coming on.
A good block by the right tackle, 68, Greg Cook, who played at Arkansas. It's 2nd down and 1. The Packers at the Houston 41. For the first down, Ellis down to the 38-yard line. Listen to these fans. They're rooting on their team now.
Jay, this certainly doesn't look like a team that lost 61-7 last week. They're playing against a great football team that's going to the playoffs, and they're not.
You saw Leotis Harris getting up slowly there, 69 for the Packers. He's replaced now by Sid Kitson, number 64. There's Bart Starr, 6th season here at Green Bay. Now Harris comes back in there. Harris is in. 1st and 10 at the 38-yard line. That's Ivory going in motion. Play action fake. Dickey loses the ball, and one of the Packers falls on it at the 42-yard line. Dickey was trying to go long down the middle to Lofton. Larry McCarron, 54, came down on the ball. Real good pressure by Brazil against Dickey that time.
What a heads-up player Larry McCarron, number 54, the center, has been. Starting 108 consecutive games. He falls back on this ball. 8 years he's played in this game, and he's been through an awful lot of great Packer football games.
The loss is back to the 42-yard line. Kansas City now leading Pittsburgh 13-7 in the third quarter. Cincinnati 14-0 over Chicago. That's Ivory sweeping. And the tackle made at the 39-yard line. Looked like he might get more, but an excellent play by Andy Doris, number 69. Doris making the tackle at the 39-yard line. So that's going to bring up 3rd down and about 11.
Andy Doris, I don't think you could play that play any better than he did. He rode the line, Was able to slide out there. We see his stats: 29 tackles, 31 assists, and 6 sacks. That's quite a year for a defensive end.
You ought to know, big guy.
Well, the thing that's so important about that is when you play a 34 defense, almost always you're doubled. And the fact that he gets 6 sacks, you've only got 3 linemen that are rushing.
3 minutes to play, third quarter. Big play here, 3rd and 11 for the Packers at the Houston 39-yard line. Dickey throwing and incomplete, right through the hands of Fred Nixon. Nixon looked like he had it, and the first down at the 23-yard line. Vernon Perry on the coverage.
That certainly was a pass that Fred Nixon would like to have over again, as he should have come up with it. Dickey threw the ball right on his hands, and he certainly didn't. He didn't come up with the catch. But we've got a penalty flag on the play.
You notice Mr. Lombardi was still coaching
Number
here.
68, offense, declined, 4th down.
There's the play. Holding called against Greg Cook. The Steelers are out of it with a loss. They're almost out of it anyway.
Well, their hopes faded last week considerably.
Houston doing a job on them, 6-0. David Beverly. A high, wobbly kick. Fair catch called for and handled at the 16-yard line. It was Greg Bingham, the linebacker, who caught that ball. 23-yard punt. 2:41 remaining in the third quarter here at Lambeu Field. The Oilers leading 9-3. Oilers with a football from their own 16-yard line. Stabler comes up and completes it at the 26-yard line. Dave Casper again, very close to the first down. Making the play, Mike Douglas. Well, there are the touchdowns for the Oilers and the Packers. The plus and minus column there. You can see that the Oilers have had much the best of it in the touchdown department.
Well, if you take away last week, I think they had, what, 8 or 9 scored against them last week. So
they're playing a good football game here today. 2 minutes left in the third quarter. 2nd and 1. Campbell. Oh, he didn't get there. Keying on Campbell that time. Number 99, Charles Johnson, the nose guard.
they certainly have to key on Earl Campbell, as he's carried the ball probably 90% of the time on all the rushing plays.
We pause briefly now for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
KPRC TV, Channel 2, Houston.
It's 3rd down and 1. 6. That score is not correct. It's 9-3 if you're just joining us. The pitch back coming to Campbell in a little bit of trouble. Stopped him. Stopped Campbell short of the first down at the 25. Mike Douglas, 53, leading the way. Number 70 there. Rudzinski, who's done an excellent job today. So, the Green Bay Packers stop the Oilers. Ready to punt the ball to Fred Nixon. And the Packers will have the ball back and may have very good position. Here's a high spiral. Penalty marker is down. Nixon at the 35. At the 40. Fumble! Big pile up at the 44-yard line. The indication is Green Bay controlled it.
Number 78 on the run back. First down. Timeout.
Call went against Casey Merrill, the defensive end from Cal Davis, number 78. We take a timeout here. 19 seconds remaining to be played in the third quarter. The Houston Oilers leading Green Bay 9-3. The coach and general manager of these Houston Oilers, January 25th to 75. Quite a man. First down for the Packers from their own 34-yard line. Final seconds of the third quarter. Lynn Dickey, play action, swinging it out. Up the sidelines, that's Ivory. Ivory on the move, all the way to the 40. Oh, caught from behind down at the 33-yard line. And it was big Elvin Bethea who made the play. He might have saved the touchdown right here.
He certainly did on that play. Elvin Bethea back down the field 40 yards to make that play. As we watch Dickey just drop off a little dump pass here to number 40, Eddie Lee Ivory, who cuts back across the green, picks up 3 or 4 of his blockers there, gets some key blocks, and he's out and running. And Elvin Bethea on his pursuit angle straight down the field.
33-yard pickup. And that is the end of the third quarter. The score, the Oilers 9, the Packers 3. To go. 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line of Houston as we go to the 4th period. Oilers 9, Packers 3. Dickey going long, and he was going for James Lofton. The pass overthrown down at the 17-yard line. Mike Reinfeldt on the coverage. There is Lofton. He caught 67 passes coming into today's game. 4th in the NFC overall and 1st in the yardage department. Second and 10 coming at the 33. Jack Tatum is in there as the nickel back for Houston. 2nd and 10. Dickey using the long count. Throwing for the sidelines and incomplete. James Lofton, again the intended receiver. Greg Stemrick with excellent coverage that time.
That certainly shows why they're so high on Greg Stemrick. He had James Lofton just covered right like a glove on that play. Never took a fake and just covered him all the way on his out pattern. He turned back in and he had him covered.
Stemrick, 2 interceptions on the year, played for our old friend Sarkis Arslanian at Colorado State College. 3rd and 10. Packers behind Lynn Dickey, 12 of 21. Over the middle, he's got his man. It's the tight end. And all the way down to the 15-yard line. First down. Paul Kaufman making the catch, number 82. Jack Tatum on the tackle. And the Packer drive stays alive.
It's really a simple pattern. Paul Kaufman comes on just a crossing pattern. Dickey doesn't have anyone in his space to throw through. Just drops the ball over to Paul Kaufman and turns upfield, and he's got a first down, and they're down in territory where they think they can score. And look at the emotion on Paul Kaufman right there as he tries to leap over number 28, Jack Tatum.
Kaufman had 56 catches last year, a club record for a tight end. First down at the 15. The Packers threatening here early in the 4th period. The pitch coming back to Ellis. Ellis fumbled. And in under the pile at the 12-yard line, the Oilers have it. A turnover for the Packers that really hurts them.
That certainly does. That kills a great scoring opportunity. Gary Ellis just doesn't have the ball tacked away on this play as he turns upfield. It's just a simple lead pattern here. He's got 2 people out in front of him. He just doesn't put the ball away. He's hit from the backside and a little bit and maybe pulls the ball out. You can see he's looking for the ball right there. And, of course, the great pursuit of the Houston Oilers.
Ted Washington recovering the fumble. The Houston Oilers get it back, and we'll be back with Houston leading 9-3. Over situation, and Dave, 2 of those Packer turnovers were inside the 20-yard line.
They've been crucial turnovers, down deep in scoring territory.
1st and 10 for the Houston Oilers from their own 12-yard line. Campbell gets the call. He's out to the 20, still going. Close to a first down at the 22-yard line. Earl Campbell. Good blocking by Carter, 58 at left guard, has replaced Bob Young. Rudzinski, number 70, made the tackle along with Johnny Gray, number 24. Let's take a look at Earl Campbell.
As we watch from an end zone shot, this is the shot that Earl Campbell sees as he, and we talked about his vision before. Roy Hammerman told me he never fumbled when he carried the ball, our great producer. Did you know that, Jay?
Well, Roy's an authority on fumbling, I can tell you that. The sights and sounds of the NFL coming to you from Green Bay, and that is Campbell once more. Campbell getting out over the 31-yard line. Steve Luke, 46, and Mike Douglas, 53 on the tackle. Our pictures being handled today by director Barry Stoddard, who has left the cold North Country for California. Our Our NBC crew, we hope you're enjoying the action. We've got 12:44 to go. And the Oilers leading 9-3. Second down and 1. Campbell again. And he's got the first down. Jim Gano, number 51, the left outside linebacker, making the stop.
First down.
This shows the great running ability, as we've talked about, with Earl Campbell. He doesn't look like he's going to pick up anything and all of a sudden breaks through and picks up 2 or 3 yards. But Earl Campbell has rushed the ball 23 out of the 27 rushes that they have today.
Some folks here from Austin with their sign. The beautiful state capital of the great state of Texas, the home of the Longhorns. First and 10 from the 34-yard line. And there he goes again. He is controlling the game right now. Earl Campbell, close to a first down. Johnny Gray, 24, making the stop. Cleveland, 16-9 in the third quarter over Minnesota. Here it is 9-3, the Oilers over the Packers. And it is first down at the 45-yard line for Houston. Campbell now, 97 yards on 24 carries. Throw to the sideline, complete. First down at the 44-yard line, Billy Johnson. White shoes going high in the air. McCoy, Luke, and Gano over there on the coverage.
This is a typical Kenny Stabler pass as the wide receiver, Billy White Shoes Johnson, number 84, comes back for the ball and makes the catch. That's one thing that Kenny is very, very much in favor of. Those wide receivers, as they do that 15 to 17-yard out, coming back for the ball, it cuts down on the out pattern interceptions.
There's some action down in the pit.
What a force that is right there, number 77. 340 pounds.
Lambeu Field out of Michigan State. First and 10 at the 44. Campbell down to the 40. And that would put him at the 100-yard mark, I believe, right there. 25 rushes, 102 yards on the day for Earl Campbell. Rudzinski, number 70, on the tackle.
The thing that's so impressive about him also, Jay, is that on any play, they'll call on him. Third down and 7 or 8, which is a normal passing down, they'll still go to Earl Campbell because they have enough confidence to know that he can break any time, one all the way.
Campbell has the only touchdown in the game. It was his 11th TD of the season.
Second and 5.
Second down and 5 coming at the 40. We have 9:40 to play. Campbell has averaged 4.8 per carry today. There he goes again. Another first down and all the way inside the 30-yard line. Boy, is this guy a franchise or not? Mark Lee made the tackle along with Mike McCoy, the two corners.
Well, Bum Phillips certainly knew what he was getting when he gave up a couple draft choices to Tampa Bay to get the rights to draft Earl Campbell, because he certainly is a franchise in himself. Look at the balance that he has also. Leg strength, the balance, the size, the compactness. There's just not enough things that can be said about him.
There's his stats for the afternoon. Jeff Groth, 81, has come in now for Houston to replace Billy Johnson. First and 10 at the 28-yard line. Stabler with a lot of time, and it's intercepted. Rudzinski brings it back. Rudzinski still going up to the 32-yard line. Rudzinski getting a start today. The free agent has done a good job on special teams. Big interception to thwart the drive.
This is an emotional turning point of the game right here. It could be for the Green Bay Packers as Paul Rudzinski, number 70, intercepts his pass. He certainly doesn't look like a defensive lineman on this play.
Stabler had all kinds of time. That's the 26th interception that he has thrown this season. The Oilers 9, the Packers 3. 8:40 to play in this game. Picked off by Rudzinski. His first interception ever as a Packer. The Pack first and 10 from their own 32. That's Nixon going in motion. Incomplete. Swinging it out to Ellis, trying to set up a little screen on the right side. You know, Rudzinski really shouldn't be here. I guess he's been cut from his team 3 times and brought back, but he got the starting shot today, and that interception was a big one. Now let's see if the Green Bay Packers can do something with it, though. They had an excellent drive going, and it was thwarted on a fumble. Illegal procedure call against Green Bay is refused. Second down and 10 with 8.5 minutes to play here. The Oilers 9, the Packers 3. All just outside the 31-yard line of the Packers. The Oilers in a prevent defense. Got Stensrud and Tatum in there. Dickey throwing, and he completes it nicely to Ellis. Ellis is out of bounds. First down up at the 47-yard line. Bingham and Reinfeldt on the coverage. Let's go to Bryant Gumbel.
Thank you, Jay Randolph. At Three Rivers in Pittsburgh, the Steelers are clawing back. Bradshaw to Bell pulls the Steelers to within 2. They are now inside the 10 of Kansas City. May take the lead right now in the 4th. Let's go back to Jay at Green Bay.
All right, Bryant, so the Packers are trying to get back in business here, and same is true of those Steelers in Pittsburgh. A 16-yard pickup on that last play. First down for the Packers from their own 47. Dickey using play action again and throwing, and it is intercepted. That is J.C. Wilson who picked it off. The ball was tipped. J.C. Wilson coming up with it. Pass intended for Fred Nixon. Take a look at it again.
Fred Nixon on his play really should let the ball be overthrown, because it was over his head, and by him touching the ball, it caused the interception that J.C. Wilson came up with. You can see the ball's behind him, and it was no chance for an interception until he touched it. But those are the breaks of the game.
So the Oilers get it back. 9-3. Pro. Jay Randolph. Lambeu Field. Green Bay, Wisconsin. The Oilers 9, the Packers 3. First and 10 for the Oilers after the turnover. The 4th of the game for Houston, or for Green Bay. And now look at the time. Incomplete. Pass intended for Casper. Knocked down by Johnny Gray.
That was an interesting play. Kenny Stabler had 2 slip screens on that play. Everyone reacted to the screens, and no one rushed him. As we can watch him set up here, he runs 2 slip screen actions. He runs Earl Campbell one way, runs the other back out of the field, and you can just see him. He's standing there back by himself. Finally sees Dave Casper. But no one rushed him on the play because everyone reacted to the slip screens in a hurry.
Second down and 10. Stabler, I think, was more surprised than anybody else.
He sure was.
There are his stats on the day. There's Campbell on a little draw, and close to a first down at the 44-yard line. Rudzinski, number 70, on the tackle. What a day Campbell's having.
The emotion to me, Jay, is that every time the Packers have seemed to come back and get an emotional lift, Houston answers the call on defense and comes up with a big turnover. And that's just a tribute to their defense. They certainly have, you know, ranked right up there every year. Ed Biles, their defensive coordinator, certainly has done a great job, and that's what's propelled them into the situation where they are in the run for the dash for the cash.
Yes, sir. Well, they didn't give up a touchdown to Pittsburgh in that last game. Didn't give up a point to Pittsburgh when they beat them 6-3 in the Dome. Now 3rd and 1. Campbell, I think he got the first down. He got to the 45. Casey Merrill, 78, on the tackle. First down for Houston. The clock running with 7 minutes and 15 seconds remaining to be played. The only touchdown scored by Earl Campbell in the first quarter from 1 yard out. There's the quarterback comparison. You see that Dickey has had a very fine season when you stack him up against the Snake.
They certainly have. And look at the percentage of completion, 64% to 59.1. That's really throwing the ball in there.
And off to Campbell over the 50 and down to the 47-yard line, and a little battering there between 77 and 78. Luke on the tackle. That's Lambeu Field, of course, 77 for Houston. I don't think I'd want to mess with him.
No, I don't either.
One of the players injured now. Earl Campbell, just moments ago, helped to his feet and then went off under his own power. 29 carries, 130 yards on the day. In there now is Carpenter, and that is Carpenter carrying the ball down to the 43-yard line. Mike Butler, 77 on the tackle. Campbell's best day this year was 206 yards on November the 16th against Chicago. He has 130 here today, a 4.4 average.
Jay, as he left the field there, we could certainly hear the applause from the Packer fans here, as they really appreciate a good football player.
And Earl Campbell is right back in the ball game. And
now they're not clapping anymore.
No, indeed. First and 10 at the 43-yard line. Campbell to the 40, down to the 38-yard line. A time-consuming drive here by the Oilers. 5.5 to play. Jim Gano, 51, and Paul Rudzinski making the tackle. The clock running here at Lambeu Field.
We had talked about interceptions before, and Kenny Stabler certainly has an awful lot of them. I was in a game one time when he threw 8 interceptions in the first 3 quarters, and John Madden pulled them out. And Kenny made the statement when he was asked whether he was upset about it. He said, yeah, he said he thought he had a shot at the record.
Second down and 4 at the 38. Campbell again. Bone-jarring run inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. Johnny Gray on the tackle, another first down. How do you stop this guy?
I don't know, but I'll tell you, I admire Johnny Gray for coming up there and trying, because Johnny Gray is well outweighed, and Earl Campbell's got to run and start. You can see the shot that Johnny Gray takes, but that's one of the reasons why Johnny Gray has had 4 years in a row of over 100 tackles, which is quite a mark for a defensive back.
He's a real find. Coming up, either the Oakland-Denver action or the Miami-Baltimore game. More football right after our action here. First and 10 at the 27. Campbell again. And Campbell inside the 25, down to the 24-yard line. Mike Douglas, 53, and Charles Johnson, 99. Houston controlling this game with 4 minutes left to play right now.
32 rushes for 150 yards, 32 out of 38 rushes.
Bum Phillips, he was an assistant at A&M, at Houston, at SMU, at Oklahoma State.
Excuse me, that was 32 out of 37 rushes.
Yep.
Do you think they have a tendency to go to Earl Campbell?
Why not?
I'd go to him if I had him on my team.
Second down and 7. Here we go again. To the outside, to the 20, the 15, at the 10, the 5, touchdown, Campbell!
He made that look so easy. He stepped back and stepped around the defensive back that had come up, and he just made it look so easy. Johnny Gray came over there and just never had a chance. He looked like he just kind of strolled into the end zone.
And Earl is down on one knee there. What a fine run. Something very, very, very fantastic here.
Earl Campbell's had a series of small injuries, and to a back as powerful as he is, they're nagging injuries. He's had a thigh pull and a groin pull. And look at this move right here, just stepping right around Johnny Gray and stepping in the end zone. You can see him right here as he goes down, and he is hurting, but what a competitor.
176 yards on 33 carries, a 5.3 average.
There's another look at the move on
2
Johnny Gray.
touchdowns. Marcole signed yesterday to replace Tony Fritsch. Hope Tony's feeling well today, and I don't know if he can come back with that herniated disc or not. Marcole kicks it through. So he has missed an extra point, gotten an extra point, had a field goal. 3:27 to play. The Oilers in command now. 16-3 over the Packers. Twice in his career, Marcole led the National Football League in scoring per kicker. Now the property of Houston.
What a dream come true for him. He's in contention to go for a Super Bowl, and I saw an interview with him last night, and he said that it was really a plus for him.
Ball picked up and brought back upfield to the 36-yard line by Johnny Gray. The tackle made by Booby Clark, 14-yard return, and first down for the Packers with 3:19 remaining in the game. Ball just over the 36-yard line. The Packers next week will play the Lions at the Pontiac Silverdome. Lions in Tampa Bay playing there today, and of course the Oilers meet the Minnesota Vikings. The Astrodome, that's at noon next Sunday. Cleveland beating Minnesota this afternoon. It's Kaufman coming in motion. And Dickey throwing to Kaufman. He's got it at the 44-yard line and hit immediately on the play by number 28, Jack Tatum.
There's a name out of my past, Jack Tatum.
Yeah, yes indeed.
Now there's a competitor too.
Woo! Hurry up offense. Clock running with 2:55 remaining in the game. Packers in need of a quick score, and he threw it away. Stopping the clock with 2:49 to play. Gary Ellis out in the zone, but Greg Bingham did a good job there, fouling things up.
This is a defensive lineman's dream right now and an offensive lineman's nightmare because they have to protect on the pass. They know they're going to pass the ball, and Lynn Dickey has certainly been very, very successful today passing it. But every defensive lineman wants to be in this situation because they can take off, and every offensive lineman doesn't want to be in it.
Cleveland 23-9 over Minnesota. They're in the fourth quarter. The Browns marching along. Gary Ellis made a move. And the penalty, 5 yards.
Full start, number 57, offense, third down.
The call going against Darrell Goforth.
Jay, you know Bart Starr has been under an awful lot of pressure here, and a lot has probably been justified and much of it not justified. It's going to be a tough season for him to finish out right now, isn't it?
Well, yes, and talk a little bit about, you know, there have been so many rumors about the fact that he may be out. We'll discuss a little more about that here in a moment. Third down, 9. Dickey throwing, completing, first down up the sidelines, and more. Fine play by Eddie Lee Ivory. Boy, he did a good job. Brazil made the tackle.
That's been Lynn Dickey's best pass all day. The swing out of the backfield by the back. He's been throwing excellent. He's been right on the mark on that out pattern right there. Eddie Lee Ivory makes a great balance act here to stay in bounds on the sidelines. And he certainly got him upfield in a hurry.
And we're back live, and this went out to Ellis. Ellis is inside the 40, down to the 37-yard line. The stop made by J.C. Wilson. Clock now stopped with 2:10 remaining. Timeout, Green Bay. Cleveland with a victory will go to 11-4 on the year. There is Bum Phillips. His club with a win this afternoon will be 10-5. Now let's go to New York. Our good friend Bryant Gumbel has an update for us.
Thank you, Jay Randolph. At Metropolitan Stadium in Bloomington, the Vikings have scored again. This is Ted Brown going in after receiving a pass from Tommy Kramer from 7 yards out. It's now 23-15, Cleveland in front of the fourth. Jay?
All right, Brian, so that one has been updated for you, and the Minnesota Vikings still very much in that football game scheduled for January the 8th, the annual meeting of the Green Bay Packers board. And we'll talk about what might happen at that time in a moment. It's 2nd down and 4. Dickey throwing, completing it. Eddie Lee Ivory down to the 21-yard line. Thomas Henderson, 53, on the play, and a penalty marker down back upfield at the 45, holding against the Packers.
The 2-minute warning.
Well, that's the kind of thing that will put some more gray hairs into that head right there, a Bart Starr. On January the 8th, the Green Bay board will meet here, headed up, of course, by Dominic Olejniczak, and at that time, they will reevaluate.
Holding, number 69, offense, 2nd down.
Call against Leotis Harris. So Something probably will be known for sure about Starr's situation come January the 8th or before. The 2-minute warning has been given. We take a timeout. The Oilers are leading the Packers 16-3. Here, as we swing back into the stadium, they put up the money for the team, the Green Bay Packers. And this is the only franchise that is owned by a corporation, of course, in the National Football League. Home to the folks of this beautiful part of Wisconsin. 2nd and 15. And, most intercepted. Gary Ellis, the intended receiver, and Thomas Henderson is all the way down the field at the 20-yard line, wishing he had the football.
He would have Hollywooded that play had he intercepted it.
There he comes back. He just saw him. He was way down the field. Getting back to Bart Starr, Dave, things have been tough from the injury standpoint for him. I think he's done a pretty good job coaching his football team this year.
He's had a tough road to hoe here. He's got 16 or 17 players on injury reserve. We've seen 5 or 6 go down today, and you just can't judge him on emotions.
3rd and 15. Over the middle. Whoops. It hit Gary Ellis right in the helmet.
He's got the nucleus here, Jay, of a good football team. He doesn't have any big-name stars other than James Lofton and Lynn Dickey, but he has the nucleus of a good football team. He's got guys that have shown today that they're not willing to quit.
Coming up for you, Oakland and Denver, Miami and Baltimore. You'll be seeing one of those games, the second half of the NBC doubleheader. And also, time permitting, we'll be bringing you up to date with scores from around the league on NFL 80. 4th and 15 coming with 1 minute and 50 seconds remaining. 16-3, the Oilers. Penalty marker down and intercepted. Coming back with it is Greg Stemrick. Stemrick to the 40-yard line. That is the 3rd interception of the afternoon for Dickey. Fred Nixon on the tackle, and Greg Stemrick is a happy man indeed. Holding against Green Bay is refused.
Lynn Dickey was under an awful lot of pressure that time, as we had said earlier, that he's under an awful lot of pressure when you know you have to pass. He does step up into the pocket here as he gets pressure right there, but he makes a poor choice in throwing the ball over there. Greg Stemrick played well and intercepted it. You can see the double coverage that Jack Tatum came into the play also, number 32, and Stemrick is just excited. And that is what the Houston Oilers have continually done today, is that they have answered the call every time the Packers have threatened. The Packers have played well, but they've played, the Houston Oilers have played better, and that's the 5th turnover for the Packers.
And 2 of them inside the opponent's 20-yard line. 2 timeouts remaining for the Packers, but very little to be decided here except run 1 minute and 30 off the clock. Campbell going to the 40. Packers now timeout, and that will leave them with 1 remaining. It is the final week of the NFL regular season, and you'll join Bryant Gumbel, we hope, for NFL 80 and then regional action, the Browns and the Bengals. Other regional games, you want to check your local listings for the game to be seen in your area. The final weekend of the season coming up next Sunday, of course, and on Saturday, we're going to have that game down in Miami with no announcers for you. I know many of you around the nation will be applauding that.
We won't, though, Jay.
Putting us right out of work, aren't they? Well, and quite a basketball game, too. We'll follow that next week. All of that for you next weekend on NBC. 2nd down and 9. Campbell down at the 42-yard line. Timeout Green Bay with 1:27 remaining. Casey Merrill, number 78, on the tackle. That ball game up there today. Campbell, 179 yards on 36 carries. 3rd and 7 coming now at the 43-yard line for the Houston Oilers. The Packers are out of timeouts.
3rd and 7.
Campbell to the 45-yard line and wrapped up there by Mike Butler, number 77. The clock running now, and Green Bay not in a position to stop it. I want to thank our entire support crew here today. We don't get to Green Bay very often. The hospitality is always wonderful, and the crew here in the booth just doing an excellent job. 1 minute to play. 4th and 4 coming up. The punting will be done by Cliff Parsley.
I believe it'll be Love You Blue at the airport tonight when they return.
Yeah, well, the Oilers, too much time with 42 seconds left. The Oilers will be winging their way home in an airplane that's painted blue we saw out here.
That's right.
At the field. Love You Blue indeed.
They have some great fans in Houston, as is evidenced by the support that they have. But they have great fans here also in the Green Bay Packer area.
Here's the first final of the afternoon. How about this? New Orleans 21, the Jets 20.
My old alumni.
They'll be dancing in the streets tonight along Bourbon Street, I can tell you that. And now a final, New England 24, Buffalo 2. 16-3 the Oilers. Chasing that ball is Nixon. I don't know if he wants it or not. I don't blame him for not picking it up down there. 30 seconds remaining to be played. Buffalo, with a loss, remains 10 victories, now 5 defeats. New England goes to 9-6. A 55-yard punt there. If Cleveland holds on and wins, they'll be 11-4. Houston with a victory here, going to be 10-5.
What excitement in the American Football Conference, totally covered by NBC. We certainly have got the games this year.
And there's no question the race is going to the wire in this conference.
It certainly is. It's exciting every week. And as all the coaches have said, it's going right down to the last week.
Atlanta, Dallas, and Philadelphia have all clinched spots over in the NFC.
No excitement over there.
Well, not much, I guess. There's a pass that is incomplete. Out at the 17-yard line, intended for Paul Kaufman. And Carter Hartwig, extra defensive back in there. Clock stopped with 24 seconds remaining. Well, I know, Dave, that you and I would want to wish all our viewers and the Green Bay Network here in Wisconsin and all you folks across Texas a very happy and healthful holiday from all of us at NBC Sports. Here's another final. Pittsburgh pulled it out, 21-16 over Kansas City. Incomplete at the 10-yard line. Pass intended for Eddie Lee Ivory. 19 seconds remaining in the game. We'll remind you again that Oakland and Denver, Miami and Baltimore, the games to be seen coming up. We'll try to update you on all the scores, too, with NFL 80.
I told Mike Reinfeldt that I would mention his name if he did something. And I told him, now do something out there. He's number 37. He's having a fantastic year. He's from this area. He went to school at Wisconsin, Milwaukee. So I just want to mention his name because I told him I would.
You get anything extra for that?
Old Rhino, we used to call him.
3rd and 10. And it is complete to Gary Ellis. Ellis has a first down, spins away. Out of bounds with 8 seconds remaining, down at the 46-yard line. Dave, our congratulations to you in your first year as an analyst with NBC. It's been a pleasure working with you, and you're just doing an excellent job. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas down in North Carolina. Working 2 jobs, the electric company in the daytime and raising the milk-fed veal at night.
Thank you, Jay. I appreciate it. I'll tell you, at least they broke me in with some great guys. I got to work with you, and I got to work with Marv Albert. And, boy, I certainly appreciate all that NBC has done for me. They've really made it a super year as I've retired from football, and it's kept me involved in a game that I love an awful lot.
Well, it's been fun having you with us. It really has. 16-3, the Oilers over the Packers. 8 seconds remaining. Lynn Dickey throwing, incomplete. 4 seconds remaining. Kaufman again, the intended receiver. The Houston Oilers meeting Minnesota next Sunday in the Astrodome. And folks in Houston, remember that's a 12 noon start.
The Houston Oilers today, Jay, have not really played a great football game, but they've still won. They've played a good football
They really
game.
controlled this game.
Yes, they have.
When they had to.
And that's an important thing about a team that's going into playoffs. You want to play your type of football game, and they have controlled it.
This may be the final play of the game. Uh-oh. Fumble the ball.
Uh-oh.
He's going the wrong way. Let's see, is it a dead ball or not? It may be a touchdown. Might be a touchdown. It is, I think, a touchdown. John Corker, the rookie from Oklahoma, gets himself a touchdown. They didn't blow the play dead back at the 40-yard line. I thought they had. But time has run out. But the celebration downfield for the rookie from Oklahoma, John Corker.
He will save that ball forever.
How about that? Well, it was all over, but that's quite a way to add it. Now, is the game over? I don't know. There was a penalty maybe also.
There was
Looked like somebody jumped, and of course, now here is the official, referee Jerry Markbright.
He's over talking
The
with
extra
Bum.
point must be kicked. And let's see. Markbright is trying to get the field cleared away, but it is a touchdown for John Corker. He'll be a happy man this evening. Let's listen.
The field's got to be cleared.
Got to get the field cleared, says our referee, Jerry Markbright. Let's watch this play again.
Well, Lynn Dickey here just, this is unbelievable. What a way to end the game with 3 seconds left on the field, to fumble the ball and drop the ball and have it picked up for a touchdown here, as you said, by John Corker. The other thing that's really interesting to me is the accuracy of the NFL officials. I played 13 seasons, and I've always been amazed that they are probably 99% of the time accurate and have a tremendous control of the game. My hat is off to them, Jay.
And they do a splendid job. Now we're ready to kick the point. Marco's going to get a chance to get one more point for Houston today.
Will they cheer him or will they boo him? I believe we're getting our answer. And he missed it.
He missed it, and now they applaud. Well, that's, I suppose, a very interesting ending to quite a victory here for the Oilers. Marco got a field goal and an extra point, missed a couple. And in his first ever game with the Oilers, he sees his club win it 22-3 against his former team.
Well, in fairness to Chester Markle, he got a tryout yesterday afternoon just before 3 o'clock, got added to the roster, and really wasn't in preparation for a game. And that's in fairness to him. He has been an excellent kicker for the Green Bay Packers over a long period of time, but he's going to have to kick better than that to make this Houston team go through the playoffs. And
Tony Fritsch will be missed. He's a great kicker in the clutch, of course, and he has that herniated disc problem.
Tony is one of the fun
wish him
guys,
well,
too.
yeah.
He is a
Wonderful
very
fellow.
enjoyable person to be with.
Houston gets a couple of touchdowns from Earl Campbell. And a big day indeed for Campbell, 181 yards on 37 carries. The final touchdown for Bum Phillips' Houston Oilers coming from rookie John Corker. And 22-3, the final score here.
As we look at Bum Phillips there, one of his real concerns was the weather today. It
Yes.
certainly didn't play a factor.
His club handled it very nicely. The executive producer of NBC's NFL Football is Don Ohlmeyer. The coordinating producer, Ted Nathanson. The telecast of today's game has been produced by Roy Hammerman, directed by Barry Stoddard, our technical director, Rick Lombardo, and the associate director, Gene Wallstein. Remember, this Thursday at 8 Eastern Time, it's Games People Play, a combination of sports and entertainment for the entire family. And also, coming up, it's Oakland and Denver, Miami and Baltimore in your area. And next Sunday, the final week of the regular season, we'll be bringing you regional action. Most of you will be seeing the Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals. And now for Dave Rowe, this is Jay Randolph. We hope you've enjoyed the action here at Lambeu Field. The final Houston 22, Green Bay 3. Let's go to New York and Bryant Gumbel.